Hey everyone, it's Tyler from Universal Rackets, and today we're going over the 5 serve checkpoints. If you can watch this whole video and learn every single checkpoint, you will be able to hit a good serve. So as you see on tour, there's so many different types of servers. Nadal goes like this and then serves. Kyrgios goes like this and then serves. Everyone has different serving tactics, but each and every pro gets into these 5 checkpoints. Whatever you do, if you can get into these 5 checkpoints, you're going to be able to have a good serve. So checkpoint number 1 is what? To start the proper way. If you don't start the proper way, you are not going to have a good serve. When you start with the serve, you want to make sure that you are right here. Your ball, your tossing hand, is right on the side of your racket. The ball is right next to your strings, and you have the racket right here around your hips. Too many players, they start out too far, and then they got to go back, or they start out too close, and then they have no momentum. You want to have your arms bend, and you want to be right here. You don't want to be up here, you don't want to be down here, you want to be right around your hips. Why don't you want to be up here? Because if you're up here, then your tossing arm is going to be delayed to your hitting arm. If you start down here, your hitting arm is going to be delayed to your tossing arm. You want to be right here. Step number 1. Notice as well, the tip of my racket is pointed to my dominant net post. If I'm a right-handed player, everything's pointed towards that right net post. If I'm a left-handed player, everything's pointed to that left net post. Now, after that, the next step is, after my ready position, step number 2 is I want to bring the racket back and the tip down. I want to think that I'm sweeping the floor. Again, when you get into your second position, you're going to sweep the floor and have the racket tip downward. You want to think that you're drawing a line with the tip of your racket. Notice the racket tip is facing down, my elbow is bent, and I am loose, okay? How do people hit big serves? It's because they're loose in this position. This gets the whip cracking. This gets the whip going. By getting into the second position, being super loose, that's going to allow you to then get in a third, fourth, and fifth and really crack it and have the racket speed. So, ready position, everything pointing, second position here, okay? You want to make sure that you're here. Now, after you are done this, the next position is going to be the good old thing called the trophy post. If you ever saw an old school tennis trophy, or if you ever see all the pros, they get into this position for a little bit longer than all of their other checkpoints. The reason why is because this is where the magic happens. This is where you load, and this is where you start yourself to go up and explode. But remember, if you don't get into this position, you're not going to be able to get into this position. Tyler, my arm, my shoulder, my elbow hurts. It hurts so bad when I serve. I'm going to need surgery. It's because you're going like this. Notice when you go like this, step number 2 is not here. Your racket tip's not pointing down, it's pointing backwards. And then step number 3 is this good old thing called the waiter's tray, where you can put it here. This is why players can't have big serves. And if they want to hit a big serve, they have to really use their arm and shoulder. They're going to blow it out, and it's not going to be good. So make sure you start good, you get in step number 2, and then you get into your trophy pose, which is step number 3. How do we ensure that we're in our trophy pose? Well, when you go here, you want to bring the racket over your head. Again, you want to go here, and then you want to go here over your head. Here and here. Another way that you could do it is you could put a ball on the frame of your racket or here and just work on going over and going back. Again, ow, just hit myself with the ball. Here we are, I'm going to put it in the frame, over and back. So here, over and back. You want to work on knocking the birthday hat off your head. You want to work on brushing your hair. So again, you're going to be here, brush the hair. You can tap the strings on your head to really get it. And now after you get this to this and you brush your hair, you can tap your strings. That means in your proper trophy position. Now you're going to start right here. Notice when I'm here, I'm going to then throw my racket down, I'll release it. I'm going to go up, that's my contact, and then my follow through. So again, step number 1, ready position. Step number 2, point the tip down. Step number 3, trophy. Step number 4 now though, after I bring it over my head, then I'm going to release the racket and throw it forward. Now, how do I get into step number 4? too many players, what they do is after they go over their head, they tighten up. Notice if I tighten up, my racket can't get to step number 4. In order to get to step number 4, I gotta release and be loose. Notice in step number 4, the racket tip is pointing down, the racket butt cap is pointing up. Again, I can't do that if I'm tight. I can only do that if I'm what? If I'm loose and I relax. Now, by pointing the racket tip down and the butt cap up, now when I proceed with my swing and my motion, now my racket tip is up, the butt cap's going to be pointing down. Step number 5, and then my follow through is step number 6. Did I say 5 at first? Well, 6. Sometimes you count the ready position, sometimes you don't. That's okay, you guys get the point. But ready position, step number 1, tip down number 2. I'm loose here, right? Step number 3, I'm in my trophy pose. I'm doing this exercise to get that over my head. Then step number 4 is what? Step number 4, I'm releasing, I'm being loose. Step number 5, I'm making contact. Make sure your contact is out in front. And then step number 6 is follow through. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I had to come down a little bit more on that ball. Now, how do we understand all these different steps? You start at the 6, and then you work your way back. So, you'll start at 6 and freeze at contact. Now, after you start at 6, then you'll start at 5. Then you'll go 6 and contact. Then, after you start at 5, then you'll go at 4, and then work on your serve. Then you'll start at 3, and then work on your serve. Then you'll do 2 and 1, okay? So if you want to learn how to learn each step and put it all together, you need to start at the end and then add another step and work your way back, and that's how you're going to learn this serving motion. Now, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure to click the link in my description for your instantly improve my serve ebook. Make sure to share with a friend. Have a good one, happy hitting, and I'll see you guys next time on court.